like nobody's emailed.
Nobody's emailed us? Do you know how disrespectful... I'm done playing nice.
I know.
You know how disrespectful that is? The hours of entertainment we have provided.
There are literal hours.
And advice. If you would just follow our advice, you would live a full life.
Guaranteed.
Send us a damn email.
Asterisk below, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, just it. Tim and Joe's Awesome Podcast. Well, great segue into episode 19. As you can tell, we're a little lonely for your love. We're giving you all the love we can give. And we just, if you want, send us a little love back, No, we're just glad you listen. Hopefully it's brightening somebody's day. Certainly something we look forward to. Today.
Let's hear it.
Awesome. It was a quote that is very famous by Mike Tyson. Everybody has a plan, and then they get punched in the mouth, right?
Yep.
So that's what we're going to be talking about today, what our thoughts are on that, our feels are on that. But I'm going to go off script here a little bit, and I think we should just dip into the ASMR world.
Oh.
I'm going to take a moment, and this is my impression of an ASMR fruit bat eating a cara orange, okay? All right, I hope you enjoyed that. I need something to get me started, man. It's been a long week. All right, Joe.
Yeah, okay.
Any ASMR sounds you'd like to share?
I think maybe we should illustrate the sound of somebody getting punched in the face.
Ooh, okay. All right.
Go.
Oh, man, that was so good.
Oh, man. Wow.
All right, and for those of you...
I will never punch somebody in the face, and I probably shouldn't have punched a Bible. But
that had some bass to it, too. I think it's the table that it's sitting on there. That, for our auditory listeners out there, that wasn't a real face. And YouTube, you can see for sure, he just punched the Holy Bible.
Oh, no. I mean, you sprung this on me. I don't...
Am I wrong? Hey.
It's true.
His word can take it. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, there's 99% of the books in here are Bibles. I mean, I don't know what to grab.
Okay, for those of you that maybe don't have time to read the Modern Reader's Bible, so modern it was written in... sorry, bear with me here. And this is some ASMR.
Before copyright
existed.
This
is what page turning sounds like.
Are we selling out?
No, man, we're boldly going where this podcast has never gone before. Copyright 1895, though this is the reprinted version in 1935. This is what that 1935 modern Bible sounds like. And that was an index card sliding out of it. All right, guys. Well, that's unless you've got one more ASMR. Do you have one?
No, I think we've covered all the most relaxing ones that you could imagine.
Oh, I got one more. All right, this is what fingernails on bark. There's some exposed edge, live edge shells here. This is what fingernails on bark sound like. All right, if that doesn't do it for you, I don't know what will.
Hey, send us an email. Tell us what you want ASMR next.
All right, so without further ado, if you'd like more ASMR, please email us. Tim and Joe's Awesome Podcast @gmail.com. And Tim is, maybe you're sending it, but Tim is Tim.
It's the spelling. And Joe is the traditional spelling.
Traditional spelling of Joe. That's right. There's no apostrophe in that email address. Sorry, Mom. Don't put the apostrophe in the Tim and Joe's Awesome Podcast at gmail.com.
Yep.
All right. Well, hey, today we're talking about something super exciting and I thought really thought-provoking. That quote has stuck with me. It means a lot to me. Everybody has a plan and then they get punched in the mouth.
Yep.
So what does that mean to you, Joe?
What does it mean? Wow. Well, first of all, how well can you handle Have you ever been punched in the mouth?
Well, it's a funny question, and I love this question because it's a funny story. When I was 27, I realized,
Okay.
man, the last time I got punched, no, I was kicked in the gut in 3rd grade by a 5th grader.
Oh, that's not. Yeah. How'd you
Man.
handle it?
Oh, man, I just buckled over and couldn't breathe. But my brother took his backpack and swung at the guy, and then.
Oh, he was
there
also
you
a
go.
5th grader.
My brother?
Yeah.
No, my brother was a 3rd grader. Sorry,
Yeah.
I was in 3rd grade. My brother was
Right.
3rd grade. Oh, I got you. I'm a little slow on the uptake here, but no. Anyways, it had been a while. And at 25, I was like, man, I don't know. I mean, what's it like? Turns out I wasn't the only one asking that question because Michael Poindexter, a friend of mine, that we were getting to know, we were developing a friendship. Likewise, somehow it just came up. He's like, I wonder what it's like to be punched in the face. So we went out after church into the parking lot behind the church building, and we just each gave each other a shot to punch.
You didn't.
Yeah. One, I wanted to know, like, what's it like to punch somebody in the face? I know this is very
Did you go first or
pedestrian.
second?
Gosh, yeah, I really don't remember. We were both so
Amped up.
I think I punched him first. You know, no, I had him punch me first because I felt like this was really. I wanted to make sure that this was the
So,
right thing.
church parking lot, did you turn the other cheek?
No, he wanted me to punch him back, so then I punched him as well.
It was a test.
Oh, I see. He was like, "You failed," and now I'm going to be in, purgatory a little bit longer. Poindexter, lovely guy, and we both were like, "Oh man, that wasn't so bad." So that's the last time I
Really?
was punched in the
Not
face.
so bad?
Yeah, it wasn't so. I mean, we weren't like going to kill each other. I think there's a difference between. I don't know. I think there's a difference between somebody who's really going to hurt you, punching you in the face, and like your friend Michael Poindexter, who's like, "Bro, I don't want to leave a bruise, but I want you to know what it feels like to get rocked."
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so not a Mike Tyson punch.
No,
And
no,
not to
man.
the mouth.
That dude's a monster. Take a break from our podcast and go watch some of his fights on YouTube, man.
Yeah.
I mean, one punch and the dude's out. So
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I've never been punched. I can't imagine being punched or punching somebody.
let's go in the back right now.
Not again. No, not again. Heard that before.
All right.
No, I can't imagine. I don't think I would handle
Yeah.
it very well. I bruise like a peach. So, maybe when the time is right, I mean, it could happen.
all right.
I'm open to it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I don't want to plan it. I don't think that's going to bode well for me. I feel like it needs to be spontaneous.
Yeah.
I got to do something punch-worthy
Sure.
and wear it.
Man,
You
there
know?
you go. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know that fist fights are in our near future, but you never know. We can always be hopeful. But I know that, getting grown up, having kids, having a family, doing a job, having dreams, there is ample opportunity to get the proverbial punch in the
The
mouth.
reality check.
And it might even hurt more.
True that.
It might even hurt more to get a little punch in the mouth.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
tell
right
you,
about that.
we were out in L.A., and then we'd already gone from New York and then to L.A., because L.A. was like 80% the cost of living of New York, so we were going to save a little money, and it was like our effort to make the dream happen. But I remember let's say a week before I decided it was time to come home to Louisville,
Yep.
which was a punch in the face, I had actually started installing a ceiling fan in
Okay.
our. Have I told you this story?
I don't know. You might have a lot of ceiling fan stories. If ceiling
That's a good
fans
point.
ring true,
That's a good point. But I tried to put in this ceiling fan into our. We had a second-story apartment in Koreatown in LA, and there was no air conditioning. And even with the window units going, it would get up to like 95 degrees.
Yep.
And it was just like a sauna. So I was like, I'm going in. We had just come out of a bed bug fiasco.
Oh, now
that
that's
was
the
like-
guy who you should have punched in the face, because I know
Man, I did
you
go
confronted
confront- I
him
did. I didn't punch
in a
him. He was little.
dingy
He was a
LA
little guy.
hallway, and you wanted to.
I did. But I didn't punch him. But yeah, so I was like, I got news for you, LA. I just doubled down. You're trying to get rid of me. You can't. And so I was like, I'm going to make this apartment, I'm going to take a step toward making this apartment perfect. So they had a light sconce in the middle of the living room of our little one bedroom, and I went up there and I took out the light, and I took out the light box, only to realize like it wasn't a load-bearing electrical box. It was just in the drywall. It could barely support the sconce, to be honest.
Right.
And I just remember that being like the last straw. And it was a bit of a punch in the face. We were going on, I think, 7.5 years of pursuing a dream. Mm-hmm. And we had proverbially burned the ships in the harbor. Right. You know, when we went to New York to start this adventure, we had friends drop us off. So we didn't even have a car. So there's no way to go back. Oh, we were in New York. Yeah. And
what kind of friends are dropping you off from New York to L.A.?
Well, Jill, so this was a friend who dropped us off from Louisville to New York. So to start our journey, we did it without a car. We went to New York, no car. Jill drove us. And anyways, love Jill. Jill, if you're listening, you're not, but love you. We should get together. And
you owe her about 15 trips to the airport and a few moves to make up for that 12.5-hour drop-off she did for you in New York.
Yeah. Sweet Jill. She's amazing. I have a memory of her. She took a hammock and she stretched out in Central Park and just started laying out. And she's pretty cool. Anyways, I'll say this too. It's like when we left Louisville for New York, man, we were scrimping. We were saving. We took a job. It was Christmas time. They were opening up a new anthropology here in Louisville. And so we took extra work. Just stocking the shelves because they were opening up the new location, taking things out of bags. We were saving up that money. You know what? We got $9,000.
Oh, you can live forever on that in New York.
Saved and went to New York with $9,000 in our pocket. Fast forward to my fiasco with the ceiling fan. And then I realized we have to go back to Louisville. We were $40,000 in debt. We left with $9,000 in the pocket.
You should have retired at 9.
40,000. You should have retired. I'd be sitting on that 9 right now. But it was all because of, and I think of it as like going to grad school. I mean, you're not going to get out of grad school for less than 40.
Right.
You're not going to do it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, well, that was my grad school. I got to be on film sets. I got to do the hustle. I got to know how to pitch ideas. There was so much that you can't even learn in grad school. So I have no regrets.
I like the way you looked at that. There's no guarantee to get a job with your grad school education.
There's zero.
Right.
You know, there's a ton of
gamble no matter what.
Ton of film people coming out of the film schools, and they're just going to be PAs and then work middle management.
Yeah.
So I was super happy with all that, but we had gotten to a point where it was time to move back to Louisville. And man, it was just like a punch in the face. You know, it was like, man, we started out so optimistic, $9,000 scrimping and saving, working so hard, and then we come back carrying some debt. And we're going back to Louisville, you know. And it was a bit of a punch in the face. Came back, started slinging my resume to like some of the local advertising agencies and stuff like that. But they were full up. It's not a big city. There's not a ton of opportunities that I could find. Maybe somebody else is going to be different. They're going to find some great opportunities. But man, you know what happened was I ended up starting to work for an old buddy doing his social media. That was, he does plaster. So we started doing some fancy, it's not Venetian plaster, but that's what everything's about. Venetian plasters. And I was flying a drone. That'll come in later. Flying a drone. Was not licensed at that time, but you didn't really have to be. So flying a drone, doing fancy Venetian plasters, learning stuff. Then I started working at FedEx and back in the restaurants. Love restaurants, the family vibe. You know what I'm saying? All that to say is that when I finally got my job at WLKY, they're like, hey, we need somebody who has drone experience. I'm like, oh, I just did drone stuff. And then I brought a family atmosphere of always, you know, trying to develop a family at work, which I just took my harassment training, and that's not, you're not supposed to do that. No, you are, but they have... Man, I'm telling you, I took the harassment training.
Yeah, I don't know if you're building a family right if you watch the harassment video and you're like, oh, bro, I'm doing this wrong, I'm doing this wrong.
The things they say is just like, you I'll tell you this. When I first, I think I've even mentioned this before. When I first got the job at WOKY, I'd ask people like, "What'd you get into last night?"
What were we wearing?
Well, no, it's just something. Yeah. Anyways, and people at first were like, "That's really invasive," and then I was like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." I was just like, "I'm just trying to make conversation," and then now they're really excited about it. I think they are, anyways. But anyway, so it was interesting. I got punched in the face, but then coming back here. Has been really eye-opening, beautiful, liberating, joyful, financially solvent, good things like that. There's definitely a little punch in the face there. 7 years investment that I thought went up in smoke, but then now it's like, oh man, this is actually great.
No, yeah. Oh, come on. I'm surprised you even thought about that. Anybody who's been listening to us for a while, whether it's the Slice of Humble Pie episode or, dealing with setbacks or whatever, you use it.
Keep coming back to it.
Keep coming back.
Man.
Yeah. I've never been punched in the face, but I have been punched. This happened in Portland, so it's somewhat recent.
Whoa, okay.
Yeah. So
fresh.
This was on the Bank Street, 29th and Bank. 3 homes in Portland in the 10 years that we've lived here, but 90% of my WTF stories come from 29th and Bank. It was just a hopping corner. And we had a neighbor who is, you may know him, Jason. Jason, shout out to Jason. Love the guy in a way that I never thought I could, but he's just a crazy guy, man.
Yes.
Well, how would you? You know him just a little bit from the outside looking in.
So Jason is just that neighbor who is wearing American flag shorts, a MAGA T-shirt or tank top on a fat tire bike.
Yeah.
Cruising the streets.
I think he's probably what all of your friends in LA would have thought that like a MAGA head is. You know what I mean? Back in Kentucky, right? Like the man picks fights with everybody. He's got a Confederate flag, literally arrested while interfering with an election.
Yeah, like, he went to the voting booth.
Calls people the N-word. He's not a good guy. And let's just be honest. Now let's also recognize he has.
I want to respect his dedication to the tin can game, though.
The tin can game is, strong.
So he has a wagon, right?
I wouldn't even call it a wagon. It's not a wagon, it's not a car. It's probably, it's a trailer. He can't drive. He has some, some issues, right? He has a lot of seizures.
We should paint this picture. This chicken wire that's up 10 feet high on this trailer.
Yep.
And he fills it up with aluminum cans.
That's right.
Does he drive it?
He can't drive. So what he does, first of all, every morning he walks around with a big fishnet over his shoulder, and he visits all of the biker gangs, right? Oh, okay. So he's visiting the Outlaws, he's visiting the Ironheads, he's visiting the
Reapers,
the Grim Reapers, and he's just grabbing their beer cans. They throw them out on the sidewalk for him or in the grass. He knows exactly where to pick them up, and he saves them up for most of the year. But really, he saves them up just until the price of aluminum. See, I didn't know this about scrappers. They watch the price of aluminum like some people watch the stock market.
Wow.
So when the price of aluminum jumps up, which it changes every single day, when it jumps up to the right amount, he pulls the trigger. Somebody drives him down to the recycling, and that is his income for the year. He gets some disability. Every once in a while, he sues somebody. But for the most part, that is his income. And, Jason, needless to say, after 10 a.m., he's got a lot of free time. Mm-hmm. Okay, he does his runs. He did his work, and he spends that time picking fights and pissing people off and cooking in his front yard over a campfire stove.
Yeah.
And so that's what he does. And most of the time when he's getting in fights, I try to, hands off.
Yeah.
Listen, man, sometimes you need a good punch in the face. You know what I mean? You're calling people the N-word. You're telling the Middle Eastern man in the corner store to go back where he comes from. You know what I mean? Sometimes you need a good punch in the face. But there was this one time where I look out there, and in the corner on the middle of 29th and Bank, he's surrounded by 6 to 10 kids, teenagers. You know what I mean? Maybe 14 to 17.
Okay. Yeah.
And they've just circled him up. And I don't know exactly what he's done, but I know he probably deserved it.
Yeah.
But he is not going to be able to survive what's about to happen if he keeps it up. And he's
Yeah.
shouting at everybody, And so I go out there and I try to talk him down. I try to get in the middle of it and I try to explain, listen, don't let this get under your skin, please. Just walk away. Like you can't speak, like you can't negotiate with him. You can't, like, there's no common sense there to be able to, like, whatever. There's no way this ends well. At a certain point, I get right in between. They're getting the circles coming in closer. And what I don't realize here is the closer I get to Jason here, the tighter the circle gets. Because these kids do not want to punch Jason. But they've also reached the point where they can't retreat.
Gotcha.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? There's some group mentality happening here. And they get so close that I wrap my arms around Jason. And as soon as I do that, they come in hot. And I'm getting punched in the back. I am getting, well, we all are. We both are.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like we got a little group hug going on, and they're just going crazy. I'm getting punched. He's getting punched. Now we're on the ground. I'm getting kicked.
Oh, my God.
Man.
Wow.
It probably, all in all, lasted 30 seconds.
Yeah.
But, man, I'll never forget it. Katie is calling the police. I got Jessica. Jessica's living with us at the time. Tyler's on the phone with the police. They're like, oh, it's Jason. They're like, oh, it's Jason, dragging their feet. Like, but there's somebody else. Like, oh, God, okay, I guess we got to go. So, all in all, man, it was, they dispersed. They got their kicks in. They got their punches in. They got what they needed, and then they got out of there before the cops showed up.
Yeah.
And that night, and Jason, what are you doing this time? We got to have a come to Jesus moment, man.
Yeah.
You gotta go. You're going down the wrong direction. We got to talk. And, man, he's hot-headed. He runs off. But later that night, he calls me.
Yeah.
And, he has some real conversation in a way that I'd never had with him before.
Yeah.
So I don't regret that for one moment. I'll take a kick and a punch, even from, honestly, a racist like Jason. I'll do it again because there was the only time I ever really felt like he was listening and, like, I had his ear was at that moment.
Wow.
And the next morning, I woke up and I went to my interview with the Office of Violence Prevention.
Wow.
And I parked 10 blocks away.
Man, you did. You limped. You're like,
And I had bruises, man.
It's funny.
rough.
You didn't bring that up at the interview.
I didn't. I thought about it.
Yeah.
I really thought about it, but I was like, I don't think that this will come across in a normal way.
Yeah, it's hard for. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. I did think about it. No, I kept that one to myself. But, man, that's the only time I've been punched or kicked. Not in the mouth.
Yeah.
Thank God.
It's off topic, but it's kind of on topic. Like, I do like to go to music shows, get in the mosh pit.
Yeah.
Because sometimes, it just feels good to get
A little
pushed
roughhouse,
around,
yeah.
kicked. Not like bad. I mean, the mosh pit's such a friendly place. Honestly, like, if anybody drops and falls, like, everybody stops and pulls everybody up. But, like, it's like an opportunity to just really
Let go.
let go and get beat up and beat up other people a little bit. And I say that not like anybody's bruised. I mean, you do get a little bruised, but
Yeah.
I'll say I went to it was like I was meant to be at this concert. It was down in Nashville. My buddy Lauren took me. And he and I are Idols fans, and in Nashville.
American Idols? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I don't know what you're talking about.
There's a
American
band,
Idol?
Idols. Just Idols.
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 That's the band name?
That's the band name. Check them out.
Idols? All right.
They're good. Never Fight a Man with a Perm. That's one of their songs.
Okay.
It's really good. And if it's like angry, British, kind of punk music.
Okay.
Let's say that.
Okay.
And the dude's like our age.
I don't appreciate the face you made when I said American Idol. But
Well,
carry on.
I'm just.
It's just the mosh
I
pit at
thought
American Idol.
I
would've
thought you
been-
were having a good time with me. You're like, listen, yeah, you're moshing with American Idols. I don't think that happens, but it could.
It could.
It could.
Every genre at American Idol concert, you get it all. You get that punk. You get that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they
Idols
got
would
it
be
up.
so
They do
lucky.
have it all.
Idols would be so lucky. Let's be real.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry. Carry on.
Well, so it was right after COVID too. It was like just when they started doing concerts, when the world was starting to wake up after COVID. And I don't know if you had the opportunity to go to a music show right after COVID, but like everybody was so thankful.
Yeah.
It was like now I go to shows and people are having a good time, but they're still thinking about like, well, I got to get back to work tomorrow. Or, like for instance, I went and saw Emil and the Sniffers at Mercury Ballroom. And I was like, oh, there's going to be a bunch of us waiting after backstage.
I swear, half this show is you making up band names, meals, food, and books and movies, just to see if I'll catch it. I feel like that's the real show.
Well, let's just say this is an Australian.
But Emil and the Sniffers. You got Emil and the Sniffers.
Australian punk band that was at Mercury Ballroom.
Okay.
And I even made it into like the Mercury Ballroom social media posts because I was like right there. You know what I'm saying? I was like right there. I tried to scoot back because I'm a tall guy, but I was like right there.
You are a jerk. You're 7 feet tall in the very dead center of the stage. Even the band members are like, hey, you're stealing the limelight, man.
I do try and scoot back a little bit, but in this shot, wow, it was right there. Anyway, so for instance, after that, like after Emil and the Sniffers, like I go back behind the building in the alley, and I'm just waiting for them. I think there's going to be a ton of us waiting for signatures. I bought a shirt. I think there was 4 of us out of like hundreds of people. So that was crazy. It's just like people are like getting on with their life. They're not as happy to be at a show, thankful. But at Idols in Nashville, 2021-ish or 2-ish.
Okay.
Man, the mosh pit. This was like the first time people had to take a 2-year hiatus from moshing.
Yeah.
And when they came back...
The social distance moshing just doesn't hit right, does it?
It doesn't.
Can you imagine?
When we all got back in that thing, man, it was crazy. 1, super rough, amazing. But 2, like, there was even times we would coordinate the mosh and now it's this giant swirl, and it's like,
ooh,
probably 90 people just like swirling together. It was like it was otherworldly, bro. It was like something else.
I've never moshed. Would you? Like, could I come with you sometime to this? Like, do I have what it takes? I told you I bruise easy.
You'll find out real quick. Let's say that. You'll find out real quick.
Right.
You might even like, wow, I really love this because it is a bit of violence in the safest and happiest way.
Yeah.
Because it's like violence without the consequences. So
I'm gonna wear shin guards though. I can't get kicked in the shins.
Yeah, I have never been kicked in the shins.
I can't risk it. I'm wearing shin guards.
Yeah, all right, wear the shin guards. Be like, hey, there's that guy with the shin guards. But yeah, I would also say like sometimes getting punched in the mouth, not exactly that, but there is like a good kind of violence that is, I think, I don't know, it's nice.
Yeah, it's an outlet. Yeah.
We'll go.
Take me.
We'll go to Skinamarink and the Big Bee Gees, the Breezies. Skinamarink and the Breezies. If that's not a band name, it should be. Skinamarink and the Breezies, you're welcome.
Not gonna get me. Not gonna get me.
We're Skinamarink and the Breezies.
That's not mosh music.
Yeah.
That's not gonna do it. That's not Emil and the Sniffers.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's important to walk into life knowing that, like, gosh, unexpected occurrences happen, right?
Yeah.
And we got to know, like, oh gosh, who are we on the other side of that? I think I can say, like, now, having had some unexpected things that happen that weren't punches in the face, but were certainly like reality checks. Maybe that's a good way to look at it. Like, have you had a reality check?
Oh.
Oh
yeah.
And that is definitely like a punch in the face.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
whoa, I thought, like TT thought something was happening, and she got her reality check. Evidently, she didn't even show up at the gas station. Somebody else was working her shift. She thought, we going to Greece, baby. That's something we talked about, but I'm just saying reality checks happen,
Yeah,
and I can cut that part out if you want. Don't worry about that.
Oh, no, come on. No,
I know TT will be listening, and TT, we love you.
Oh, yeah. No,
And the Red Bulls you sling.
Come on.
Yeah, what about reality checks? That strike for you? Hit you?
I've certainly had the reality
Helpful?
checks.
They helpful? They're useful?
They are useful. They are useful. Yeah. I have had, I've had serious ones, where it's just like, hey, you're not cut out. And we've talked about some of those on the podcast before. But you, and you sent me the topic yesterday or the day before. I told you today I went and visited the Muhammad Ali mural, and so I've got to say, while we're talking about boxers, right? While we're talking about the greatest, it's not Mike Tyson. If you were at his funeral or his sort of community funeral, which happened at the Yum Center, did you go to that by any chance when he passed away? So Katie and I went, and Mike Tyson was there, and they took a lot of opportunities anytime they could just to remind Mike Tyson, hey, if y'all were in the same division and if y'all fought at the same time, Muhammad Ali would have whooped you. And it was all love, and I think he was a great sport about it. But, when he passed away, Katie and I really wanted to do like some sort of display, right? And so we had talked about, plans going wrong here is sort of the track I'm on. We had talked about, for a while, we had a pair of giant underwear at the house. And I don't remember how we ended up with it. You could fit like 4 adults in it.
Wow.
Yeah, it'd stick like 2 in each leg. It was big underwear.
Wow.
Just the right size for David, in my opinion.
David
downtown. David, Michelangelo David.
Yeah.
So there's a cast, if anybody doesn't know, it's like 4 stories tall, this David. I don't know, it's big.
Yeah, Michelangelo's David down by the...
21C.
21C, yeah.
21C. And so we'd always thought, like, we're going to stick some giant underwear on that guy.
Yeah.
And when Muhammad Ali passed away, we saw the opportunity to memorialize him with some boxing shorts, to turn David into Muhammad Ali. And so we went... We got some fabric the next day. We cut out some of those big white Everlast boxing shorts. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Picture Muhammad Ali just fighting, I don't know, Evander Holyfield or somebody, knocked out on the ground. He's standing over him with them white shorts.
Yeah, iconic.
Yeah. So we got the Everlast logo just right. We made some boxing gloves. We got some other, some red fabric. We stuffed them, made them look like boxing gloves. We got a big sign out there, rest in peace, the greatest, or whatever. And so our plan of attack was foldable ladder, right there to get on the base. So stick that thing out, and it's in like a painting a room kind of V shape right there.
This is you and your wifey.
And one other friend, our friend Hunter, was there. And so Hunter's job was to stick the sign out there, like the rest in peace, the greatest, right? And then my job was to climb up on top of the base, which is like a 10-foot base that it rests on. And then Katie's job was to take the ladder, fold it back up, pass it up to me, and then I was to take the ladder and then unfold it, additional 16 feet now. That 4 feet comes out to unfold and extends. You're at 16. And so you're putting that on the base and then leaning it up to the rest of the sculpture.
What could go wrong?
That's what exactly.
I mean, that's a genius plan.
And everything, foolproof. Yeah. Everything's accounted for. We've got a painter stick, so Katie's passing me up the shorts now. She's passing me up the boxing gloves. But I fold out at 16 feet, and I'm trying to climb it, and I'm underneath him from the back because I've got to get around his waist to wrap the rope around to leave the shorts dangling. And David it's his butt is the problem.
Oh, big booty.
It sticks out.
Okay.
And I'm underneath it, and I can't get over it. And I can't
You're
reach
all
around
up
the way.
in his butt.
Oh, I'm in his golden butthole.
Yeah.
I mean, I literally, and I can't, I'm hugging him because I'm teetering back and forth.
It is.
I can't go back.
Yeah.
I can't go left. I can barely. I'm just like, Katie, pass it to me. I'm in the butt.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to reach around. And
I'm in his butt and giving him a reach around?
I'm giving a reach around, and they're erecting the sign underneath. I can't even see what's happening. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
but Michael...
Erect is not the right word if you've seen David.
You were working on that.
Flaccid for days, as the kids say. You know what I mean? If you've seen him, you know. I'm in the golden butthole.
Yeah.
I've been fumbling around the golden butthole for like 5 minutes. I cannot reach my hands around. I can't go any higher. I'm falling over. And then we hear the wee-oo, wee-oo. And not just one. I mean, there's like 5 police cars.
Oh,
Sirens
man.
blazing. I looked down at Katie. We had not planned for this.
Yeah.
And I just yelled, "Run!" And she's like, it happened so fast. She's like, "Where?" Like she looks around.
She said where?
Look around where?
She's like, I'm not leaving you, but I'll hide.
Yeah, that's right. And we're screwed. I'm stuck in the golden butthole. I can't even safely get down. That I'm like,
That's
I'm
a
just
good
kind of
point.
hugging
Yeah.
on.
People
you know
die
what I mean?
this way.
I'm like grabbing every orifice and crevice that I can.
Man.
I'm just like hugging on.
And he's not that well endowed. There's not a whole lot to grab onto.
There's not a whole lot. Even if I could reach around, that wouldn't help any. It wouldn't, man.
Gosh.
Oh my God! So that proverbial man, that punch in the mouth was, woo boy, it was right there. My face was right in it, and and we, eventually I worked my way down. They're helping me get down there. Like, this is unsafe, and we just wait there. They're just like, well, you're not going anywhere. You know what I mean? They didn't put us in cuffs. We weren't detained, but we weren't allowed to leave.
Yeah.
We weren't allowed to leave until they got the owner on the phone. Do you want to press charges? The owner, I don't know if you know who the owner of 21C Hotel is.
Is he mayor now?
That's right. So we had to wait around until we found out if we wanted to press charge. Eventually the answer was no, and we were allowed to go. And they were cool about it. They honestly, like, hey, the whole city's mourning right now. We were expecting some displays of gratitude towards the greatest and everything. Yeah. But man, plan doesn't always go just right, man. Sometimes you got everything worked up, but you get to that golden butthole, man, and it is a proverbial punch to the face.
Man, I think that's a picture right there,
That's a picture, man. I hope I didn't say golden butthole too many times. I wasn't planning on saying that.
No,
even
man,
once.
we're going to get a t-shirt with it. You know what?
Yeah?
Yeah, we got to get t-shirts with the golden butthole.
I did get the gloves over the shoulder. And when you look at the pictures, we were able to take a picture.
Did they leave the gloves up there?
No, we had to get the gloves down. I think we had to use the painter stick to.
Oh yeah.
But they were dwarfed by. They were not. They were small. I mean, he's so big. That statue is huge.
Yeah, and he doesn't look that big from the ground, but
he really doesn't. You get up there, and the boxing gloves were the size of like beach balls, if not bigger, and they're just dwarfed by him thrown over that shoulder. Man. Terrible, man.
Man. Yeah, I think we got a whole merch line here. One, we got the band Skinamarink and the Breezies, and we got the Golden Butthole. Because sometimes, sometimes you're working hard, and you know what? The best you could ever do is the Golden Butthole, and it's not going to work out anyway, so just come on down. I think there's a life lesson there. Like, hey, just because it's gold doesn't mean it's not a butthole. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, did we just find the title for this episode?
Bro, I think we just did. I don't know. Just because it's gold doesn't mean it's not a butthole. Well, man, I want to just give a shout out to all the dreamers out there, all the hopers, and all the people that are doing it. And there's making plans. That's the thing. You got to make plans in life.
You got to try.
You got to try. You got to have some plans.
You got to have something to get messed up. You know what I mean? They say man plans, God laughs. You know what I mean? But you got to start somewhere.
Yeah, man, so true. So true. So keep planning, keep dreaming, everybody.
One last question for you.
Yeah.
I just got a question.
Oh, man, what's
Are
up?
you more fight or flight?
Yeah, I think it depends. Like, I would say I'm flight most of the time.
Okay.
But like, the longer I cook, the more it's a fight.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Like, listen, I love to just...
I got to warm up before let me stretch. Yeah.
Right. Like, yes, I would be, and I always feel so embarrassed after being cross with somebody. Yeah, so I would say I try very hard to be flight. I try very hard. I do. Yeah, what about you? Fight or flight? What do you think, man?
I've never been in I don't know that I've ever been in a situation that's really called for an actual fight. You know what I mean? I know when I finally went to public school after years of going to being homeschooled and things like that, so freshman year of high school, watching movies of high school for so long, and seeing fights and things, and I just want to do all the high school things like the movies, you know what I mean? So first chance I get to pull the fire alarm, it's coming down,
but, just like the movies.
And first time that somebody was like, "You're in my seat in the cafeteria," I know nobody.
Yeah.
But I know it was You said the thing. Oh my gosh. And he's like, why are you laughing? I'm like, bro, because it's my seat today, you know? He's like,
you're like,
oh,
just
dude.
like, you're like
he's like, you
Bueller.
want to fight? I mean, my eyes lit up.
Yeah.
Lit up.
Yeah, they did.
You ever want to scare somebody who wants to fight? Show genuine excitement. Like, oh, I'm giddy now. Man, like I slammed the tray a little bit. I've seen that.
Oh,
you know
man.
what I mean?
You were doing the whole
I stand
thing.
up and I'm like, bring it on.
I just pictured
Dude.
David Attenborough, Sir David Attenborough.
Yeah.
And you can see here by the Mills slapping of his tray that he is engaging, he is welcoming of
Yeah.
the fight.
That's what I'm picturing. You're sending out the signals. You're
That's
like,
right.
I studied for this.
That's right.
Man, did you get punched?
Oh man, I think he was just like, okay, you crazy mother
Oh, he just
effer.
walked away.
Dude, he did. I'm like,
You got
bro,
the seat.
I'm in.
Did you
I'm
sit in
I
a
got
new
the
spot the
seat.
next week?
You saw that?
Yeah.
You saw that?
Oh,
You
man,
saw
I love it.
that? Yeah, man. So, no, I do think I probably lean towards fight, not in actual fight
Yeah.
sense, but like, if it's going down, like, if, like, the porch is on fire or whatever, like, I like to run and I like the action. I don't like
Man.
being left out, I want to be in on the action.
Man, I hear that.
So I'll run towards it.
I do have a funny story now that you brought those up. Here we
Bring it
go.
on.
All
Come
right.
on, give it
this
to
is
me.
it. So
Give
you
it to
remember
me.
Perry?
Perry is like
remember
burned in my
Perry?
brain like Jason is. Yeah, I will never forget Perry. God bless him. Hope you're doing well,
Perry, I hope you're doing great out there. All right, so Perry is a neighborhood kid, and listen, he was 19 years old, but he might as well have been 12 in that 19-year-old body.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Anyways, one time when I was living on Alford, I came out, and I just heard somebody yelling, looked down, and then I see Perry getting punched in the face by this
bless him.
dude, right?
Yeah, it happened more than once.
So I go running down there, and I gotta do what you did. You know what,
Yeah.
And the male is trying to exert dominance by increasing his size.
you know?
Oh my God.
So I'm like yelling at this kid, like, man, you can't blah, blah, blah. I think it was him and like two other kids or something like that. And they're all like 19 years old. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? And
Yeah.
I am, at this time, 30, 39 or 40. I'm probably 40 at this
Okay.
time, right?
All right.
And
you
I'm
got
just
20 years
telling
on them, but yeah, they
Right.
pack a better punch at
Oh,
19 than
man,
you did 39.
So man, and they're like, blah, 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 and, I'm just like, standing like I'm ready to rumble with these young guys.
Come on.
I'm ready.
Come
I'm
on.
ready, but I'm like,
you
no, my
Perry
street.
deserved it, but in an endearing Perry way, you're on his side
Well,
immediately.
at that point, I was like, bro, I don't care. I don't care
Yeah.
what he did. You can
Yeah.
take that to a different street.
That's right.
And
This is
mess
our
him
block.
up over
Come
there.
on, we don't
And I
do
was
that
like,
here.
Perry, you hear that? But on this street, you don't do that. I was like,
Yeah.
anyways. So I'm yelling at these guys loud enough. Those three guys, they leave, right?
Well done. Okay, Tim.
Loud enough that then Curtis, Jared come out. Because I'm having a shouting match, stepping up,
Yeah, that doesn't
squaring
happen
off
every
with
day.
this 19-year-old, right? And they come out and they're like, Tim, what the hell's going on? I was like, oh, and Perry's nose is bloody. I'm like, oh, well, Perry, whatever. And then this young guy was like punching him, and they're like, oh, but then home dude comes back and he is packed out this tiny Hyundai
man.
with like 6
What have you
19-year-olds.
done, Tim?
Whee! They come whipping around this dude. Three of them were nervous around me. I took that as a compliment. But they went back and got 6 to make sure they could seal the deal and not your boy Tim. But when they whip around and pull up,
Now you got Curtis
now
and
I
Jared.
got Curtis,
Come on.
who is a brick house.
I must have closed the blinds at this point.
And I got
went to
Jared.
bed.
Jared, who's just like the nicest guy here. No, guys. And in the end, he's just like, guys, now I know we got crossways here today, but like, if you ever want to come back to the street, you're welcome to. You just can't bring that negative attitude, all right?
Yeah.
That
I
was
love
Jared. He
that.
was bringing
I
it
love
back
that.
together. Anyway, so they whip around, Curtis, me, Jared, and we look at each other like we're in a Clint Eastwood movie or something with Morgan Freeman, like, well, I bet we got one more in us, And of course, Perry's worthless, and they come whipping out like, wah, wah, like that. And who should come out of his door but Todd?
Now we're talking.
Todd is
now
on
it
the
ain't a fair
warfare.
fight. Come on, Todd.
Todd comes out and
Oh
he
my
is hoping.
gosh.
He is praying to God above that one of these kids touches him
He's
so
been
he can
praying for
kill
this for
somebody
years.
that
Yes.
day and be justified. So yeah, there's the three of us. These kids whip up. Perry's being useless, and we're like, Curtis is like, "What's going on?" We're like, "What's up? What's going on, young guys?" They're coming up like, "Well, they're saying all this stuff." Todd comes out of nowhere, and he's like,
Fight over.
telling them stuff, just like, I just hope you swing, and I just hope these kids today, like Todd's going deep, he's going down, and they can tell by his Marine haircut, his veteran plates. This dude is
the fact that the ground shakes as he walks. That might have been a little bit of the clue.
This dude is trained to kill.
Yeah.
Nicest guy ever. He gets bikes for the kids on the street. He's always trying to get
Brings
a welding
me strawberries,
job.
eggs all the time.
Yeah, great dude. But he was uniquely trained for this situation.
Oh, yeah.
All 6 of those teenagers, 19-year-olds, whatever, they got in their little Hyundai. Zoop, they're shouting out the window, zoop, and they got... y'all come on, listen, I know we got crossways today, guys, but hey, y'all come back when you're ready with a good attitude, okay? I mean it, y'all.
Everybody had the right job there.
Exactly.
Everybody had the right job. Well done. Perfectly executed. I think I shut the blinds. I went to bed.
Oh, yeah.
It
was the middle of the day. It was like
Harry's in trouble?
Yeah.
Tim's got that.
When was that dude not in trouble?
Man,
oh my God.
I don't know, man. He's in trouble right now.
I hope he's doing great wherever he is.
Yeah. I hope he's talking to his cellmate, not sideways right now.
Oh, is he in prison?
Yes, he is.
Well,
he is. I went to his sentencing, man. It was. Man.
Oh, we'll sidebar about that later.
Yeah, we'll sidebar.
Probably the safest place for him.
You're right.
Might even be a win.
It was the right thing, probably.
Right thing?
For sure. Yeah.
Well, and that is Perry's hidden
reality
mouth.
check.
And so we're just hoping that he's better for it on the other side. Yeah. All right, thanks for tuning in, guys. Episode 19 in the can. Keep dreaming.
Yep, let's do it. See you guys.